We're gathered here today so they can film us. What will become of this film? Our image will be shown around the world. They'll say to their people, "We have seen Indians." And they'll say that we have not lost our culture. And when those faraway people see our image, maybe they will ask how they can help us. Ame ekato. This will be very good.
5 centuries ago, when Europeans came into contact with Amerindians, they were surprised to see them paint their bodies red, and they called them by that name, Redskins. In the Americas, this tradition has all but disappeared and only survives as a daily practice in a few isolated places where it's handed down from generation to generation. The Wajapi are a community of about 1,000, living in the middle of the forest, close to the mouth of the Amazon. Here, painting one's skin red is a way of maintaining a link with a very ancient civilization. But as the forest retreats and the city advances, this way of life will disappear. That is why UNESCO is protecting this threatened culture. In 2003, the body painting and oral tradition of the Wajapi became part of the treasures of the intangible heritage of humanity.
My grandfather was the first to live here. His name was Paranawari. He settled over there a very long time ago. At the time, this place had no name, so my grandfather wondered what to call it. He decided on Ivirayeta. We had never seen white people before. They arrived one day. We didn't speak their language. I lost my wife, my father-in-law, and 3 of my uncles to measles. Then the children started to die. They were no higher than this. We keep everything in our minds, the teachings of our ancestors, our knowledge, but the words of our fathers, we keep them here too, in our hearts.
The village of Matapi shelters half a dozen families in palm-roofed houses where living conditions have changed little in 5 centuries. Arawai, age 16, is pregnant with her 2nd child. We interview her about the coming birth without realizing that she is already in labor. The young woman makes no complaint, even though the pain brings tears to her eyes. But pain isn't spoken of among Wajapi women. What Arawai says is that she will give birth soon, squatting over banana leaves, with the help of her mother-in-law. The nearest hospital is 2 days away. As the tropical night falls suddenly over Ivirayeta, the baby is born in the little hut outside the village. Matapi, the chief, discusses the event with his son, Kaiko.
Babies are born in the village according to our customs. Not with white people, not in the town, here, in the middle of the forest, as it was in the time of our ancestors. This baby was born in the forest.
That's how it should be.
He was born here in the traditional way.
As it was in the time of our ancestors.
We'll never give up this way of life.
We'll never abandon it.
This is how it was in ancient times. When a woman has just given birth, a fire must be lit so the child can see. This is what our ancestors did.
The Wajapi are the descendants of Amerindian communities that took refuge in the most inaccessible forests of the Amazon in the 18th century, where the last adventurers were seeking El Dorado. Fleeing from white people, their diseases, massacres and forest clearance, they reinvented a community. In the shelter of the tall trees, the women have rediscovered and passed on ancient traditions. They gather the uruku fruit, grind the seeds with papaya juice, and make the paste that men, women and children cover their bodies with every day. For the Wajapi, maintaining the link with their ancestors' traditions is essential. The gold of El Dorado was a transient myth. The uruku is always there, the red of the red skins, the symbol of a way of life that must be defended, a way of living with your dreams, of surviving in the hostile forest inhabited by spirits. After a few days in the sun, the paste will dry out and form a ball. It will protect the body from insects, from the sun, and from other, more mysterious things. Vaiti is 19 years old. He has just heard his second child has been born and goes to see his young wife, who is living apart from the community. She's in resguardo, a period of separation, full of prohibitions and taboos.
The path along the river was very difficult. I came as quickly as I could. His name is Rosario. I'm very happy. It's the first time I've seen my son.
Como vocês vêm agora filmar comigo e
You came to film me as soon as I returned. It's the same for Sukariju, the snake spirit. He will see me and say, he's just had a baby, so I must kill him. That's why we must paint ourselves, so that Sukariju can't see us.
Para Sukuri não ver com nós.
I get it.
Majiwari, one of the young adults in the community, speaks Portuguese well and often visits the town. Like his uncle Matapi, he likes talking about the Wajapi culture.
It's our culture, our way of life.
Jeito de viver.
With the uruku, we're not bothered by the insects. They don't like the uruku. It makes you strong. It stops you getting old. The skin stays young. As I'm still young, my skin is smooth. Over the age of 40, it starts to get wrinkled.
Traditionally, the Wajapi women apply the uruku to the skin of their husbands and children. Since the death of his wife a long time ago, Matapi has grown used to painting himself.
It's an ant's leg. A black ant.
Formiga preta. Formiga preta daquele.
It's like the ant's leg, the big black ant. You pick it up to observe it, and afterwards you're able to paint it, to cast spells.
Desenhar para enfeitiçar. Por isso que eu estou fazendo essa aqui.
Kawini is one of the liveliest boys in the village of Iviraeta. How old is he? His father says between 3 and 6 years old. His friends think 12 or 14. In reality, he must be 9 or 10, but here it doesn't matter to anyone. The Wajapi were a people with no written tradition, and they don't count the passing of time. They don't think in months or years, or the number of days it will take to build this house.
Okay.
Majiwari, Kawini's uncle, will live here with his family, when the roof will keep out the daily showers. And then one day, enough months or years will have passed, and Kawini in turn will know how to build a strong house without nails or cement.
That's my nephew. He's always with us. He comes hunting with us. He never leaves us. He really wants to learn.
Atrás do pai, ele não sai, não larga, porque ele quer aprender. Por isso.
Why do we pass on our knowledge? Because we don't want to become dependent on others. We don't want to depend on other people's houses.
Casa dos outros, para ele para futuro. Ele sozinho ele tem que fazer quando ele.
In the future, Kawini must know how to do everything himself.
Ele vai ter filho.
In time, he'll pass that on to his son, too. That's why we learn from our fathers.
Vai dar experiência para o filho dele depois. Por isso que a gente aprende com o pai.
In the Amazon forest, there's no clear barrier between humans and animals. After the shot, Majiwari imitates the cry of the injured animal, calling to its fellows, to scare them or to stop them charging.
I've taken the powder of the beetle by rubbing it on my skin. That will allow me to kill many other peccaries. I killed the insect, so it couldn't take its power far away. If I didn't do that, I would be unlucky in hunting. My father told me, when you're hunting peccary, if the hunter sees a beetle on some dung, he must kill it, cook it, and eat it with some meat. That way he'll never be unlucky in hunting again.
The Brazilian government has built a dispensary in the village. Irina has started training as a lab assistant. The doctor who is meant to supervise her training has never been here, but Irina carries on.
Negative. I've just seen that the test is negative. I see that from the colour. I saw no parasites. If I see it's a case of malaria, we can treat it here. But if I can't see anything, we can't do anything here. Then we have to take the patient to the town of Macapa.
For the last few days, Kawini has had a very swollen and painful finger. It may be infected. He needs treatment in the town. The decision to travel is made.
The distance is a big problem. We're very isolated in the forest. It's a problem when we have to take someone who is sick. The boat is slow because there are 5 waterfalls on the way. It's very long when you're taking a sick person.
The faces are serious in the boat that heads on its 2-day journey towards town. Wajapi chants for a sick son in a far-off town in Guyana. A son who called to him for help and he fears he'll never see again. Sava, the hunter. Majiwari, his brother who steers the boat. They know what to expect. They know all about the attractive but worrying town, where young Wajapi have had their fingers burnt. Kawini knows nothing but the forest, but the unknown attracts him. For Kawini, it's a morning of new experiences. It's the first time he's worn white people's clothing, the first time he's worn shoes, the first time he's seeing a doctor.
Hello, I'm Majiwari Wajapi.
Hello, Majiwari. What brings you here?
Kawini's problem. He says it came on all of a sudden. He didn't even bang his hand, and it's infected. When he presses here, he has no feeling in it. He can't feel the pain. Ouch. Does that hurt? You must say ouch. Say it.
It's a granuloma, a process of inflammation. It's infected. He'll have to take antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, and dress it every day. Otherwise, he could lose his finger.
Yes.
Do you understand? I'll give him some medicine. Do you know how much he weighs?
He is 9 years old. No, 10.
As a child, Wajapi saw his village move often, following the shifting cultivation. In his old age, he likes suitcases.
Chave. O senhor pode colocar? Comprar e colocar bem aqui assim o cadeado. Então tem terceiro.
In the largest store in Macapa, the chief asks for one with a lock. The sales assistant offers to take him upstairs to look for a padlock. The colours, the consumption, the temptations. The town is a heady cocktail, but also worrying.
In the wind, our loincloths blow about. The white people watch us. They look at us as if we're strange animals. If we stay in our loincloths, they say, "You're monkeys." That's why we wear trousers. It's not like at home here. This is a house for white people. It's not the same. We've had to put up our hammocks differently. It's different because it's a house for white people.
There's no fire.
Yes, where's the fire here?
The town is very dangerous. Why is it dangerous? Because there are lots of diseases here. When you bring children, they often catch the flu. There are accidents too. When people don't know how to walk in the road, they can cause accidents. But if we take the case of my son, I'm going to take care of his education. When he studies in town, he will change. Why will he change? Because he won't be learning in his own language anymore, only in Portuguese, and he'll live the way white people do.
The big black ants that build their colonies at the foot of the tall trees have a sting that's almost as painful as that of a wasp. But the Wajapi attribute a special power to this venom and use it as an initiation ceremony for youngsters, Tukandera.
May the load that you carry feel light, my child. Tomorrow, when you carry your loads, my child, you'll walk lightly, lightly. May the loads that you carry feel light. Tomorrow, you'll walk quickly and lightly. You'll be a good walker. You'll be a good walker. That's how we prepare the girls. So they shred the manioc quickly. So they make the flatbreads well. So they carry lots of firewood. So they work quicker in the harvests. And so they get up in the morning without being lazy and spin the cotton.
We make the ants sting the young ones. No, wait a minute. More here. Stay here, my child. It's only a sting.
One after another, right down to the youngest, the Wajapi children are subjected to the ant stings. Kaiko, the shaman, supervises the ritual with a rod of iron, and Kawini's protests make no difference. In their first 10 years, Wajapi children speak only in their mother tongue. On school days, Apua, the teacher, introduces them to writing and teaches the older ones the first elements of Portuguese.
Sim, eles já aprendeu todo a língua.
I teach in our own language, Wajapi. Once a pupil has a good command of our language, then I can teach him a little Portuguese, but only spoken. Portuguese is very difficult for a child. Some of them still need to improve their motor coordination, and they haven't learned to write yet. I get them to draw so they can learn how to hold their hands. This morning I told them a story about a jaguar that eats a peccary. I wrote the words on the board so that they can read and write and also draw the story. Why is it important to draw? If they can't draw, they won't be able to represent the animals, the jaguar, the plants, and everything that's around us, everything that we hunt.
Não sabe desenhar, não vai desenhar. E quando é bicho, é onça e planta e todos a casa assim uma coisa.
The treasure at the heart of the Wajapi heritage is Janipa kuziwara, refined graphic compositions designed directly on the skin. Each artist creates their own motif using recognized patterns, snakes or jaguars, butterflies or fish bones. It takes several hours for the dye to become a beautiful black color, and several weeks for it to disappear.
When the Wajapi first had contact with white people, there was a lot of prejudice. They said, "Why do you paint yourselves? You look like monkeys, like animals." We didn't speak Portuguese well enough to express ourselves and to explain to them. I'm doing research into our ritual of separation, rescado. Many young people are dropping it now. They don't practice it anymore.
Karipi is one of the 20 young Wajapi trained as researchers of their own culture within the framework of the UNESCO Safeguard Plan. In time, these young researchers will draw up the inventory of the intangible heritage of the Wajapi. In Ivireta, the babies are painted to make them invisible to the spirits. But in many communities, these traditions are being lost or are changing.
I've talked with the elders to find out what happened after a birth in their day. Today you can return to bathe in the river after only 5 days without attracting the attention of Sukariju. I asked the elders why. How was it before that? Then the chiefs told me, now you live among white people, you use soap and perfume. I think what happens is that the scent of the baby doesn't stay on our bodies anymore.
O cheiro da criança não está colado da gente.
We're preparing for Pikaro Moreita, the festival of young fish, and Yaokwara, the festival of ancient weeping. Our ancestors have always told us, you mustn't cry when you dance. That's Yaokwara. That's what I'll dance later. I'm continuing the tradition.
At the heart of the Wajapi culture, there are celebrations. Songs and dances can be counted by the dozen. Manioc beer is sweet, but the quantities consumed are impressive.
Paku. That's what they're singing. The paku jumps the waterfall. The fish are going upriver to the source to spawn. Operi paku opa.
Carried along by the group, the men give themselves up to the dance and the trance. There, they find the strength to protect the thin thread that links them to their ancestors, to their culture from time immemorial.